Jake Paul's California mansion has been raided by the FBI, multiple news organizations report. You can see in this aerial footage agents in uniform outside his home in Calabasas.
You know what's funny about your brother? Your brother talks more shit than anybody else on the planet. They're trying to sue people when people talk shit. There's people out there saying they're fake fights, they're fixed.
You know, for me, in my opinion, I think it's scripted a little bit because, you know, of the weight difference, and, you know, Joshua's a former, you know, champion. And also, you know, he's active.
That was not a boxing match. Jake Paul had a very healthy fear for his life while he was in there. He was running away. He was trying to get distance. Then he was trying to step in to win this contest. And then he's trying to get out of the way so that he doesn't get hurt again.
Jake Paul is once again at the center of a growing controversy. And this time the noise is louder than ever. Online speculation has exploded with accusations that Paul's biggest fights were somehow pre-planned, including his massive Netflix showdown with Anthony Joshua. In the more extreme corners of social media, rumors have even gone as far as suggesting legal consequences. Though no credible authorities or officials have confirmed anything of a sort, promoters, commissions, and boxing insiders have been quick to shut these theories down, repeatedly stressing that professional fights cannot be scripted without triggering serious legal repercussions. Still, despite firm denials, skepticism surrounding Jake Paul's legitimacy as a boxer has reached a new peak. For many fans, this isn't just about one fight. It's about years of unanswered questions and lingering distrust. The situation is further amplified by Paul's past controversies, including previous run-ins with law enforcement that continue to follow his public image. Whether fair or not, those moments have made him an easy target whenever new accusations surface. Now, with his boxing credibility under heavier scrutiny than ever before, public opinion appears more divided than at any point in his career. And what's clear is that perception matters in combat sports. And right now, Jake Paul is fighting a battle outside the ring as much as inside it. Whether this controversy fades like others before it or leaves lasting damage to his boxing ambitions remains to be seen. One thing is certain: the spotlight on Jake Paul has never been harsher, and the next chapter of his career may determine whether this rise continues or finally comes crashing down.
FBI agents have raided the Southern California home of YouTube star Jake Paul. Federal officials say the search was part of an investigation. Wendy Birch is in Calabasas with what we're learning tonight.
Sky 5 was overhead this morning as federal agents entered Jake Paul's Calabasas home located in this gated community off of Mulholland Highway. We counted close to 24 federal agents, some of them in tactical gear, entering the residence. Why they were here and what they were looking for, that remains unclear. The federal search warrant has been sealed and no one is offering any.
For years now, a wide range of boxing commentators, including analysts, retired fighters, and even promoters, have raised doubts about the legitimacy of Jake Paul's boxing journey. These concerns existed long before any recent legal rumors entered the conversation. Critics often point to his pattern of facing aging or stylistically favorable opponents, along with strange moments inside the ring like uneven pacing, perfectly timed knockdowns, and contracts rumored to carry tight limitations. Taken together, many believe his rapid ascent feels carefully engineered rather than organically achieved.
Because I've always been curious about this, because like, you know, you saw the Askren fight, we saw these fights that he went into. The Fury one obviously didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go, just because I was so convinced that like Jake had these fights fixed, and there's a lot of people who talk about the fights being fixed because it's just the way it is.
Yeah, they tell me that too. They're like, tell me you're not going to take a fall against Paul. Everybody says that to me. I'm like, are you kidding me? You could have paid me on all the money in the world.
Seasoned figures around boxing have long acknowledged that while Jake Paul undeniably draws headlines and revenue, his fight selection rarely places him in truly dangerous situations. That pattern has only strengthened the belief that the priority is safeguarding the brand, not pushing the limits of real competition. As these concerns continue to stack up, each new incident doesn't stand alone. Instead, it adds weight to an expanding perception that Paul's path in boxing has been shaped by image management, negotiating power, and control. not by the raw uncertainty and unforgiving nature that traditionally defines the sport.
If that Jake Paul fight was set up.
What happened to me is what was going to happen to him had he dropped those hands. If I say, Rampage, I'm going to pay you $2 million, right? Let this dude beat you, what you going to do? You're going to feel disrespected, number one. Right? That ain't enough money. For me to do that, I got to be willing to walk away for good. Something like 20-something million where I can invest it and fall off in the shade. Because
earlier on, the matchup between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul captured massive attention because of its drama and spectacle. Online chatter exploded when rumors surfaced about a leak script, fueling claims that the bout had been mapped out in advance. Alleged audio clips began circulating as well, with some people interpreting them as evidence that key moments, including Tyson appearing exhausted before Paul's stoppage, were deliberately orchestrated rather than unfolding naturally.
Graduate in the United States is $1.3 million. Again, that's over the course of the person's entire life. Jake Paul earned 30 times that in one night. People talk about winners and losers, like Jake Paul won.
After his win over Mike Tyson, Jake Paul spoke confidently about how the fight unfolded. He suggested that he absorbed very little damage, implying that he stayed in control from start to finish. Supporters took those comments as confirmation that Paul handled the moment with ease and could compete even against iconic names. Skeptics, however, saw things very differently. They highlighted the lack of real tension in the bout, noting that Tyson never appeared to pose a serious threat. For them, the fight raised familiar questions about competitiveness and whether the matchup truly reflected an even and authentic challenge.
The Super Bowl.
Big as the Super Bowl. Big as the what?
Why was Mike wearing assless chaps though? In the
did that moment go viral with his cheeks out?
I don't know. It made my stomach hurt. Though.
I was seeing it.
Why didn't he have underwear on?
He had a G-string on, is what he had.
I thought he was completely butt naked.
Nah, he looked like a stripper.
But yeah, biggest live gate, 18.1 millions in U.S. boxing history outside of Las Vegas. A phenomenal night. I'm sorry I didn't knock him out, though, guys.
Shut the fuck up. It was crazy when we talked about this. I told him you're going to say some dumb shit. You did the right thing at the end.
The latest matchup involving Anthony Joshua followed a similar pattern. A number of observers dismissed the pairing as unrealistic from the start, pointing to the massive gap in experience, physicality, and resume between Joshua and Paul. For many, the event felt less like a legitimate sporting contest and more like a carefully constructed spectacle.
Jake Paul, fake Paul I call him, against Anthony Joshua. Massive unit, two-time world champ, still got a big punch. I think he's mentally fragile at world level if he goes against the big guns because of the knockout, especially the Dubois knockout when he got fucking splattered. You know what I mean? In round 5, and he got hurt early on and then got done. And he's not been in the ring for 13 months.
Yeah.
But can you see a world in which Jake Paul is competitive in this fight?
No.
How do you see the fight going if AJ takes it serious?
It'll be over when he wants.
At the same time, Jake Paul is heading into this matchup with a level of self-belief that has caught even veteran observers off guard. Recent commentary has highlighted how strongly he appears to believe in his chances, projecting confidence that goes beyond simple bravado. Compared to some of his earlier fights, Paul seems more locked in than ever. Analysts following his preparation point to a sharper mindset, noting that his confidence is rooted not just in physical conditioning, but in mental commitment as well. Rather than dismissing the challenge of facing a former heavyweight champion, Paul appears to be leaning into it, viewing the moment as a chance to validate himself on a global stage.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here.
Despite Jake Paul's growing self-assurance, many veteran analysts remain unconvinced. Critics argue that his confidence in competing with someone like Anthony Joshua borders on unrealistic. Joshua is a seasoned heavyweight with years of elite-level training, multiple championship bouts, and a level of durability that Paul has never been tested against. Some observers also raise eyebrows at Paul's physical transformation and in-ring output, fueling speculation and debate about how much of his performance is natural. While no proof has been established, these questions continue to follow him, adding another layer of skepticism to an already polarizing matchup.
Paul natural? No. I can say that with pretty certain confidence in that statement, mainly because, as you heard me mention, I know a lot of the people he trains with and I have heard things. Now let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, right? He's able to restrain from the peer pressure that everyone's putting on him to hop on these certain compounds. Then that would be cool to train natural, do what he needs to do. But the thing is, his body composition has changed so much, his explosiveness, his power, and yes, that comes with training and time. But I find it very, very suspicious that for some reason, whenever a drug test gets brought up, for instance, when Fury wanted that in the contract, Jake Paul turns them down. So you should think to yourself, it's probably because he's not natural. Now I want to make it clear, I don't care whether Jake Paul is natural or not. There's so many people that aren't natural that are in combat sports. In fact, Tyron Woodley probably is also not natural. Everyone wants that little edge over their competition, and that's where drugs and anabolics come into play. There's certain compounds that are out there that just increase your explosiveness immensely, your recovery, so that you can stay in the same weight class, which is very important for combat sports, whether that's boxing, UFC, whatever type of combat sport you're doing. So that is why you guys have seen so much improvement from Jake Paul. Of course, he has a great circle around him, great trainers, great coaches, a great regimen, but definitely anabolics play a very fundamental role in that. They allow him to train as hard as he does. They allow him to increase his power and speed. And of course, when you think of those concepts, that's essentially the recipe to...
Regardless of the backlash and unanswered questions, this fight is attracting serious betting interest. The wagering activity itself has become part of the controversy surrounding the Paul versus Joshua matchup. Fans, casual gamblers, and even a few high-profile figures are placing bets, further blurring the line between legitimate competition and entertainment-driven spectacle. That surge in betting has only intensified the debate over whether this event should be viewed as a true sporting contest or simply a high-stakes show.
So do you think it's going to be real, this fight? Do you think it's actually... So you think that Jake Paul...
You couldn't fake it. You really think Anthony Joshua's going to put his whole livelihood on the line for Jake Paul?
No, I don't think he would.
So there you go. It's over when he wants it to be over.
There could be some kind of tacit agreement in the background.
How?
Where they have a handshake.
Then that's illegal. You're going to jail.
Exactly, it's illegal. That's what I was going to say.
So you can't.
Because it's not an exhibition.
No, it's a fight.
So we're
and people are betting on it. Big amounts of money.
So we're watching this. I'm flying out there next week to Miami to watch it. So I'm going out there. He's laughing. I'm getting some on. So it's all good. But it's like Jake Paul against Anthony Joshua, 6 foot, was he 6'6"?
About that.
Fucking, what is he, 16? What's 245 pounds?
He can't be a pound over 245.
What's
so
that in stone?
The best part, just on 17 stone or just under.
So Jake lost to Tommy Fury, and that's the one everyone keeps on. Do you think he's improved much since Tommy Fury?
Yeah, but do you think he's improved enough to be competitive? Unless I close my eyes and Josh is completely shot to bits. No.
Yeah, and so is the potential that Jake Paul, like, I know you keep saying no, I know you're right, but is there a world in which you see Jake Paul?
When rumors of a leaked script began circulating, some of Jake Paul's former opponents came under scrutiny. Critics suggested that participating in these bouts might have risked their reputations, implying that the fights were more performance than competition. Fans speculated that even legends like Tyson may have diminished their own legacies by taking part in contests viewed by some as carefully orchestrated rather than authentic.
Versus Paul script was fully leaked all the way down to the bow Jake did in round 8. This profile on X posted it anonymously one day before the fight, explaining everything before deleting it today. A fake script has been going around that said Mike Tyson will get KO'd in round 5, but that one was clearly not real or an older script. This will give you goosebumps. I'm just going to read you parts, but if you want to see the full script, I'll show you it at the end. Round 1, opening bell rings and Tyson is showing flashes of his old form, but slower than his prime. Round 2, Tyson comes alive, but his breathing grows heavier. Round 3, Paul gains confidence and lands a sharp right that stuns Tyson. That's exactly what happened. Then round 4 and 5, the fatigue sets in strong for Tyson and Jake is landing a bunch of hits. Round 6, Jake showboats, which is the tongue thing he did here. Then on round 7, Jake plays it safe to not KO Mike. And round 8 wins by decision and bows at the end. This is crazy. Subscribe if you want to read it yourself.
Some observers pointed out unusual moments during Jake Paul's fights, such as reports of Tyson allegedly giving whispered guidance and referees supposedly signaling Paul to steer clear of certain actions. These incidents sparked speculation that parts of the bouts may have been staged. However, Matchroom Boxing CEO Eddie Hearn has publicly rejected any claims that the upcoming Paul versus Joshua fight is scripted. Hearn emphasized that if the fight takes place, it will follow professional boxing rules under the Queensberry Code, not an exhibition or prearranged scenario, directly countering the circulating rumors.
Paul versus Mike Tyson was 100% scripted. Mike Tyson repeatedly bit his boxing gloves throughout the fight. When fights are scripted, fighters do weird gestures to signal that they're hurt. It's very possible Mike Tyson was biting on his gloves to tell Jake Paul to calm down. Now, if that's not enough proof that this fight was scripted, in the middle of the fight, Mike Tyson is literally talking to Jake Paul while they are clinching. And in the middle of the fight, the referee told Jake Paul to stop measuring. For those of you who don't know, in boxing terms, measuring means that you're setting up for a knockout by seeing how far your opponent is with jab. The referee literally told Jake Paul to stop measuring, and before the fight, we see Mike Tyson and Jake Paul whispering stuff to each other. Mike Tyson biting on his gloves, whispering secrets to Jake Paul in the middle of the fight, and the referee literally telling Jake Paul to stop measuring during the fight. That should be enough proof.
Frank Smith has added fuel to the ongoing debate over the Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul matchup, suggesting that the fight may prioritize spectacle over genuine competition. He argued that instead of a traditional boxing contest, the event seems crafted more for entertainment value, designed to draw attention and generate buzz rather than truly test the fighter's skills. According to Smith, fans are being presented with a show that emphasizes drama and sales over competitive integrity. At the same time, Smith expressed optimism about a potential Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua showdown, calling it one of the most anticipated fights possible. He believes that by 2026, this mega bout could finally come together. However, he also warned that boxing is full of hype and talk, and many proposed fights never materialize, highlighting the significant logistical and contractual challenges that still need to be overcome.
People who say Anthony is ruining his legacy just by taking this fight. Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, two-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight? It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going in there to knock out Jake Paul.
Sorry, just to silence all the doubters here. You know, a lot of people saying this can't be real. You know, Anthony Joshua going in there, it must be an exhibition, or Anthony Joshua's going to it's going to be choreographed and Anthony's going to carry him through a couple of rounds. I know Anthony Joshua. Just to silence all those doubters, he's going to go in there to do a job, right?
It's 100% real. It's 100% real. People asking why is it 8 rounds, not 10? Because I don't think it goes past the first round. So it's, you know, regardless, it's quite irrelevant. I think he steps across the ring and knocks him out, you know, but we're in for a bit of fun and everyone's going to be tuning in.
It might not be fun for Jake Paul. I mean, it's serious entertainment, is it?
Yeah, 100%. You know, look, I agree with you. I accept Jake Paul is absolutely mental for doing this, and I don't think he quite realizes. I think he's got people around him who actually are saying, you know, Anthony Joshua's chinny. He said it in interviews. It's quite wild, but you know, if that's the world he wants to live in, he'll find out on December 19th.
And Frank, to finish with, the plan is still sometime in 2026, AJ against Tyson Fury, and Turki Al-Sheikh's working on that, is he?
That's the fight we want to make. That's the fight we want to see. Look, we're all guilty of doing a lot of talking over the years and that not happening. So I don't want to talk too much, but that is definitely what we want to see in 2026. It's one of the biggest fights in the sport, and I'm very hopeful.
Anthony Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, has also weighed in on the scripting rumors, though his comments have sparked their own controversy. Hearn humorously claimed that the only script involved Joshua's strategy to enter the ring and aim for a quick knockout of Paul. He clarified that his remark was intended to emphasize the seriousness of the fight and push back against any idea of a predetermined outcome. At the same time, the very fact that Hearn felt compelled to publicly respond highlights just how widespread these rumors have become, spreading rapidly among fans and in the media alike.
People can't speak. Yeah, but it's obviously scripted, isn't it? I'm like, no. One, that's illegal. I mean, this is a professional contest. Two, we would never sign up to anything that's going to make AJ look bad or devalue him, lose rounds, go loads of rounds.
Do you think there's any world in which AJ pulls back, though?
No, absolutely. He couldn't do that as a fighter. He would be incapable of going in there and holding back. I mean, I think the only thing that's a bit harsh is if Anthony Joshua doesn't knock him out in the first round, he should be ashamed of himself. I was like, Brian, give us 2, or 3. Because if Jake does move, he can look after himself. It's not like he's just going to get one shot round the arm and...
Could this mark the final chapter of Jake Paul's boxing journey? Or is it just another controversy he'll shrug off? Share your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think.